the continent. And this just shows you, even without major corporate money or large funds from entities, that when people have experienced what most of us have in East Africa, and particularly in Kenya, how we can continue to come together to serve. Judith and Vita are going to talk to you about their most recent experience and traveling and what it meant to connect with Sammy and others. But I just wanted to express our appreciation. As all of you who have traveled with us know, that we believe the difference with traveling to global linkages, other than feeding y'all to death, is really the relationship with the communities that we visit. And this was clearly evident in what we're doing in East Africa, and particular in Kenya. So I just want to express my heartfelt gratitude, particularly during this Thanksgiving season, and hope that some of you, even if you've been to EA, will join us in Kenya. This is the first of a kind of a mission trip where you'll actually be able to experience and go to Olmoti, and you'll hear more about that later, but also to see the efforts that so many of us has done. I feel very honored to be amongst all of you, and so very grateful for all the ambassadors and what we've done. I don't want to start shouting out, but David giving out 101 laps, and Pat and her walk, and Vivian, just very creative ways of how we can help people that are very far from us. So thank you, and I look forward to seeing and speaking to some of you later on as we make this final push for the borehole.
Thanks, Lorna. Judith, would you join in and talk about your recent experience?
Good evening, everyone. I am very excited to be a part of this project. I can say from day one when I met Rebecca, and to know that we will make a difference, a significant difference in the lives of the Olmoti community, and the impact that St. Paul's and the difference would make from our last pilgrimage. And so it was just a great experience meeting Sammy in person, because, you know, before that we were on Zoom, and you know how it is. Each person is in a little box, and it's such a big difference when you meet the person. So our group, we traveled to Tanzania, and before we left, Lorna arranged that we would meet with Sammy and David. And so they came, and I met Sammy in person, and I was very impressed with him, and he spoke to us and told us about the work that was happening and the progress that it was making. And so my group, they were very excited to be a part of this project also. And before we left, we collected a lot of sneakers, as you have seen in the picture before, and we were able to share over 200. And as you know, David is a part of St. Paul's Church, and Lorna came and we made a presentation to the congregation. And so many of the people went on the trip with us. And so I think this is a wonderful project, and I know we would make a big difference. And as a matter of fact, one of our travelers, Stephanie Mason, she was very excited about the experience, and she became an ambassador. So I hope, and by the end of this presentation, that we would be able to go over the top of what we expect to collect.
Thanks, Judith. And Vita?
Well, hello, everyone. I know I just recently, it's been a month, I think, now that since I've returned back from East Africa. And this has been my fourth trip with Lorna. And I've been telling people by far, I think this is the one that I've enjoyed the most. And that's saying a lot because all the trips have been fabulous. And I know that, I've been thinking about the borehole project since while I was there and since I've been back. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And sharing stories about, the experience there in East Africa. And I don't know if Lorna remembers this, but I think we were going on one of the many shopping trips that we were on. And this was after the borehole presentation had occurred. And I think it was mostly women. I think it was all women on the bus that we were on. And the guy was talking to us about the importance of water. And we were talking about the young girls there in East Africa. And he kind of mentioned that when they get to a certain age, they get a little, I think he used the word bashful or something like that. And all of us women were sitting there and going, what is he talking about? And I think all 15 of us, all at the same time, just turned and looked to Lorna like, what is he talking about? And Lorna said, the menstrual period. We all went, oh, is that what he's talking about? And, Lorna indicated then, and he started to share that water is more than what you drink. It offers you a way of life. And for me, connecting water with the menstrual period was very important because there are no disposable sanitary napkins there. That's not a way of life there. So if you don't have water, you can't clean the sanitary napkins. So girls have to stay home. And I often wondered why some of the girls there on the continent, it was hard for them to continue their education because when they reached a certain part of their life and, in their teens, life changes. And if you don't have clean water, you have to stay home. You can't continue your education. And that has set with, it was a very short conversation on the bus, but I tell you, it has set with me since that conversation. And that's what I've been sharing. And that's one of the reasons why I want to contribute. It's hard to put it in writing. So when I talk to people, that's the story that I share about why I want to contribute. And I think it hits people, at least it's hit my friends the same way that it has hit me. And I think a lot of times we think about water just as something to drink, but it can impact your life from, a teenager until, you grow old, because it can sway your way of life. And the trip was wonderful, but that story, it was a very short exchange, but it will probably sit with me for the rest of my life. And that's what I wanted to share on this call.
Thank you, Vida. And it's those kinds of experiences. On my trip, which was in 2022, I'd been hearing on the news before I left, that there was a drought in Kenya. And so when we got on the trip, we began to see what that really means, because we saw the red, just red dust all over, no green. Sammy and the other Maasai friends that we were making there talked about how they were losing livestock and how that was affecting the whole community. The families were losing income because their livestock were dying. And another thought, Vida, about how it impacted girls, the women were the ones who had to fetch the water.
Yeah.
And so with the water being so scarce, they had to walk many more miles a day just to get water. And often they would enlist their girls to help them.
To do the work.
So it meant that the girls were losing time from school because they had to help their moms get water for the family. So the families were being affected, livestock were being affected, wild animals were dying because of lack of water. And so we knew that there could be something that we could do to help bring water to the Olmoti community. And that's how we got started, that with all the other gifts that we had brought, that we thought trying to help get a borehole, as it's called, into Kenya in this community, this could be something that would affect many, many families, as well as their livestock and the wild animals. So it's really that kind of, as you mentioned, you all have mentioned, the personal experience, understanding better, what other people have gone through. That gives us a better sense of our purpose and direction. And, we have really been fortunate to have so many friends able to respond and willing to respond and willing to participate. So I wanted to, I think now is the time, Aaron, we wanted to show the film, Sammy's video.
We're going to show that a little bit later.
Okay.
But maybe if you could talk just a little bit about this slide here, Becky, about the partnership.
Yeah. So once we decided that we wanted to start this project, we knew that we could call on friends and family to contribute the money. But we also knew that we did not have the expertise or the time to really manage the donation program. And we certainly didn't have the expertise to manage the project in Kenya itself. Luckily, our friend Sammy mentioned that he had heard good things about this organization called Water is Life Kenya. And so we were able to go visit the base here in the US, which is in Newark, Delaware. So actually, Judith, David, and I took the train down to Newark, Delaware, and we met our friends people who became our friends at Water is Life Kenya. And we had a much better understanding of what it was going to take to do this project. But also, luckily for us, Water is Life Kenya is an organization that's been sponsoring these boreholes for over 17 years now, and had a very good success rate with finishing the boreholes and the boreholes lasting. And the other thing that was very important to us was that Water is Life Kenya worked very closely with the local people. They made sure there was a local management committee and other initiatives that Aaron will probably talk about a little later, so that Water is Life Kenya was not just about drilling for water. They were about helping develop a community and to help that community become stronger, because they were learning some skills that helped their families and helped their community as a whole. So the pictures you see here, our visit to Newark, Delaware, with Joyce Chanyon, who I think is going to join us later. Her dad, who was one of the co-founders, Judith, David, and myself, as part of our visit to Newark. The other part of the picture there are folks. You see Lorna there, and David and Sammy and some other. I think that's
Joseph
Larasha,
LaRasha. Yep. Our
who is the
co-founder.
co-founder of Water is Life Kenya. And this was one of the presentations being made in Nairobi. And so we had a chance to experience the wealth of knowledge, the wealth of experience and interest, not only of the Americans who are part of this, but also the Kenyans who are part of this effort. And So after much deliberation, Waters Life Kenya helped us develop a budget, and we came out with the figure that we should raise $100,000. And so every now and then someone would say, well, why is it so expensive? Why does it cost so much? And Aaron or someone else at Waters Life would explain, well, we have to build very, very stable facilities there in Kenya, because if the elephants smell water, they are going to come after the water. And we have to have pretty sturdy facilities there if we're going to keep our borehole and not have the elephants take everything down looking for the water. So, hearing that here in New Jersey, it's kind of shocking to realize that you have to worry about elephants knocking down your facility. So we learned a lot in working with Waters Life Kenya. And we really appreciate the partnership that they have developed with us, both here at home with the fundraising campaign, and also with the tremendous work they've been doing for us in Kenya, which you'll hear a lot more about in a few minutes. So I'm going to ask Aaron Lemma, who is Director of Outreach and Operations at Waters Life Kenya, just to give you a more detailed explanation of what the $100,000 budget does for the project. So, Aaron.
Thank you so much, Becky. And like Lorna said, thank you for your leadership on this project. It's been a pleasure to work with you on this. Some people have an idea of how much a well costs, and they'll come up to us at events and they'll say, well, I want to fund a well, because they think a well is only about $10,000. And that's the case in West Africa, in Ghana, in Togo, and other places over in West Africa, because the water table is a lot higher. But in Kenya, it's a totally different system. So if you can see in that bottom picture, you'll see beautiful elephants walking in front of the tallest mountain in Africa, the largest freestanding mountain in the world, Mount Kilimanjaro. And you can see Mount Kilimanjaro from all of our project sites. So everywhere Waters Life Kenya has a borehole, our 30 different water projects that we've done over the 17 years, you can see Mount Kilimanjaro. And that requires us to drill very deep. So we drill up to 300 meters. That's 1,000 feet in some locations, just because of the nature of the geology in these areas. And then the elephants. We need to make sure things are built out of reinforced concrete so that the elephants don't destroy them. And Joyce is actually going to talk to us a little bit about how the elephants are affecting this project specifically in Olmoti. But over the 17 years of our work in Kenya, we have developed this tried and true method for making sure that our projects are successful. So we do a comprehensive needs assessment. We see that the community not only needs water, but also wants it. They want to manage it. They want a new system. They want a better way of life. We do community mobilization. We help the community register members. They apply for authorization to drill. They require people to sign up. They form a self-help group. It's a whole entire, a movement to help that community mobilize. We then conduct a hydrogeological survey with some talented experts. They figure out the best place to drill. Once we have that location and we have the authorization to drill, somebody in that community, whoever owns that land, will donate that land to the project, and then we can commence drilling. So drilling takes anywhere from 3 to 7 days. This project's drilling actually took 7 days. It was a very complicated drill, but we have some expert people that we work with over there. Then we do a test pumping and water quality analysis to determine if the water is clean. We train the water management committee. That's a chairperson, treasurer, secretary, and operator. These are the people who make sure that the well runs on a consistent basis, collect water tariffs, do maintenance, communicate with our team. They are the on-the-ground pros. The other thing that's funded, of course, by the $100,000 is the construction. This is the most costly portion. The portion for Olmoti, the construction portion, is over $50,000. to install the water tank, water points, pipeline connections, animal troughs, pump house, latrines, etc. Then we have to install solar panels and a strong water pump that is reliable. We have to, of course, do ongoing site visits and we maintain our projects. We make sure our projects are in good hands and things are working well. And we have an opening ceremony. And we're also going to have a tree planting ceremony for this project. So I'm going to, at this point, after just an overview of what the money is for, I'm going to pass it over to our other fearless leader, Carol Best, to talk about the process that we have taken, that we have embarked on as fundraisers and ambassadors to make sure that this project is successful. Carol?
Good evening, everyone, and thank you so much for joining us. As Aaron has spoken to and Becky has spoken to and all of the previous speakers, building this borehole was a complicated and is a complicated process with multiple steps, things that had to happen in parallel with our fundraising. Aaron spoke to quite a few of those things, so I'm not going to drill too deeply into some of this, but as well as identifying what steps needed to occur to bring this project to fruition, we also developed a timeline with benchmarks of what funding goals we had to meet, because our goal with this project was to pay as we go. So as we raised a certain amount of funds, we went into execution mode because we had to pay for permitting. We had to pay all kinds of documentation fees, get approval from the government to drill. So all of those things worked in parallel with our fundraising here. What we did on this side for fundraising is we identified 15 to 20 ambassadors, and we gave them targets. And as you can see highlighted there, those were the targets throughout the process. And we've been very blessed and grateful that we met all of our targets to date. If we set a target of March for having $30,000, we met that goal. So every one of those targets that you see highlighted, we've met it. And we're pushing hard this evening, hopefully to raise $12,000 in the next 24 hours so we can meet our target for December of $100,000. Becky is going to talk to one of our offshoots from this project because we wanted to keep the momentum going. So in the August timeframe, we talked about trees for Olmoti, because one of the things that the Olmoti community wanted to do was regreen their area after such a significant drought. So we started that initiative in the August timeframe to sell trees to either honor a loved one or to remember a loved one, because it can be someone deceased or someone living, but to buy a tree and to plant a tree, and that funding would go towards the well as helping that community regreen. And that's going to be part of our dedication service when we go back to this region in October of 2025. Next slide. This is what we have raised to date. And this includes actual donations and pledges. And this is the total number of supporters that we have had for our program thus far. That's a significant number. 429 folks have supported this effort. So the ambassadors have done an outstanding job of reaching into their communities, into their churches, into their organizations to help us get to this point. We actually started our fundraising in December of last year. So this is a significant total that we've come to December of this year, and we're almost there. I'll be followed by Joyce, who's going to speak to some of the construction ongoing.
Let's see. Joyce, are you with us?
I thought I saw her.
She's here. Oops, sorry. There
I'm
she is.
here.
Hey, Joyce.
Hi, Joyce.
Hello, everyone.
I'm going to share that slide again.
Well, what I can say is wow. I'm so excited. I'm so impressed. I'm so grateful for all that you, the whole team. It's just so exciting. And the work itself in Olmoti only could happen because of you and your vision and your compassion for people and your dream for having a better life for these people in Olmoti. And this partnership has been such a great exercise in, bringing everybody's best skills out. Right. So, I mean, and then also your ambassadors that have done so much work and all of your 429 donors. That is amazing. So anyway, we're so happy and I'm very, yeah, I'd like to share with you a couple of interesting things. While the drilling was going on, I was there. While the test pumping going on, I was there. It's a very productive borehole. There's a lot of very good clean water there. Um, One thing that I was interested as we were at the site every day, one of the things that we noticed was that you actually walk into the site from a very dry area, and as you walk towards the borehole site, the area itself has that area right around the borehole has a lot more trees, and that's where the elephants like to hang out. They like to graze in there. And so one thing we realized that after we saw one that the water came, and two that that area was very a kind of a special area where cows graze and elephants graze. Even in the dry season, it has a little bit more greenery than other places. We realized that we needed to sit with the community afterwards and decide where we were gonna build the installation. So after we did all that work, we sat together with the community. We said, we noticed that this area is a very special area. It's an important grazing area. We should probably not be creating the water point right inside that area because it would cause a lot of trampling. A lot of cows would be moving in there. They would be trampling that grass. And so we agreed together. The community decided, yes, we don't want to have the water point inside that bushy area. We wanted to pump it outside. So that's one of the reasons why the installation changed a little bit as we sat together because we realized that yeah, we want to preserve that because one of the things, as everybody may know, the economic engine of the Maasai community are livestock and then also wildlife. Right. So, and you want to preserve that pasture as much as possible, that rich the trees that are there, you don't want them to be destroyed, right? And you don't want the grass to be trampled. And so we agreed to pipe that water away from the borehole outside of it's about a half a kilometer outside. And again, somebody else had to be willing to donate that land where that water point is. So there's the borehole itself, and somebody donated that land, and the person who owned the place where everything is being constructed, the tank, the troughs, the pipe, the water, the community water point, the latrines, that person had to agree to donate that land. And so those are some of the contributions that the community is already making to make sure that their water project is successful because you can't do anything without land, right? And somebody had to give it. And so that person just had to also share the vision of a better life for his community and that people wouldn't have to walk as far, but also to preserve the natural habitat as much as possible. So that's been a big thing is people are especially after the last drought, the 3-year drought, which really swept people's livestock. People have a much more developing a consciousness of preserving their pasture. And that's something we did. We did a lot of training of community grazing management committees to manage their pasture. So it's kind of interesting how everything layered together, especially in this project. What else can I tell you? Yeah, we were very very happy with our team there. Sammy was a critical person to help us with everything, with all the community, like working together with the community leadership to do their part and to be very welcoming and to protect, let's say, take care of the drillers as they were doing their work. It's also really important for them to be safe. So they always had people watching in the nighttime to take care of the drilling team, to make sure that they were safe as they were doing their work, and just took care of us, was a great host generally. So Sammy, it looks like we're getting your video queued up. I saw you somewhere on the screen. So anyway, it's so nice to talk to you all. We're so grateful for everything, and I think I'm handing it over.
Yeah, so
Thank you, Joyce.
thank you, Joyce. Yeah, we're gonna play this video from Sammy here.
First, I would like to say thank you so much to our ambassadors and also to our donors. This is the fruit of your labor. So far, the equipping process has begun. This is the foundations of the concrete tanks. A lot of materials have been submitted to the ground, and a lot of work is going on ground. So I'd like to say thank you so much for your commitment to our ambassadors. I know you are spending a lot of time because of this project. It's just a few weeks that we have finished the other process of the borehole, and we are really, really grateful. I want to say, as you celebrate your Thanksgiving, we are also celebrating your effort on raising funds to support our community. To our beloved donors, wherever you are, thank you so much. May God bless you. We celebrate and we are very thankful of every time and every minute and every second and every little moment spent, and even every shilling that is being donated to support this project. This water will have a lot of impacts. If you take around now, it is green, and it is because we had rainfall a few days ago. And when it's green, it means a cow is happy. And when we have water and our cattle are happy, our life also fully changed. Every dollar that you are donating to support this project will really have an impact. Thank you so much. May God bless you. First, I would like to.
Okay. Thank you so much, everybody. I see some questions populating in the chat. We will get to your questions before the hour is over. Just briefly, this is the impact of course, the construction and our teams of contractors that we work with, but it's also the impact of rain. If you look on this slide, in the background of the top slide, this was taken last week before the first rainfall happened. And this photo was taken today in Kenya. So you can see the impact of rain, and also how this area is a lot clearer than this area back here, the tree with a lot of tree coverage where the borehole is. So the water will be piped to this 100,000 liter holding tank. Again, huge capital investment, but it's going to be secure. So I think I'm going to pass it back to Becky here.
Right. Thanks, Aaron. And thanks always to Sammy for his leadership and the way he can inspire people, to want to be a part of what the Olmoti are doing. Carol mentioned a few minutes ago that one of the ways that we are trying to accelerate the fundraising was to support the Olmoti community in planting trees in their community. The drought had taken away a lot of the green, so now that we have water coming back in, it gives them an opportunity to plant trees and plants for medicine that can be used by the community. The thing that we especially are excited about is that buying a tree or donating a tree not only brings water, it brings green, And we also have a chance to honor loved ones in our community or in our family. So a $50 donation buys one tree which you can name in honor of someone that you want to dedicate. There will be a specific tree dedicated and planted, and there will be names. The names of the loved ones will be indicated somewhere near the borehole, so that if you ever get a chance to visit Kenya, you will be able to see the tree and also see the name of the person that you have dedicated. And we think this is a really good way, a really lovely way to make a gift, perhaps a Christmas gift or holiday gift, Kwanzaa gift, especially since that means that your loved one's name and tree will be in Kenya, back in the motherland. So hopefully, on our donation page, you can find out more information about how to do that. And we've had some wonderful ideas that have come in from people who are having the whole family dedicate and come up with a grove of trees, individuals. So you can vary it whichever way you want. So hopefully you'll look into how the trees for Olmoti are going to make life greener, and the water will make life even more green. Also, just to point out in this particular slide, this is a lovely video that was taken at the site. And these are all parts of what you can, information you can use to share with friends that you're asking to donate, so that they can get more information about what is happening and what impact their donations are having, in one particular community in Kenya. So check it out, and I'm sure that you will be excited about all the prospects that the Trees for Olmoti will bring. Now I'm going to ask our leader, Global Linkages CEO, Lorna Kay. If Lorna, would you come back on and talk about the magical journey in 2025?
Decided before we even knew about the rousing success of this project to have an experience to visit Almonte. In our East Africa journeys, and as well as when St. Paul, we were unable or are unable to go to that part of Kenya. Most of our travels have been to Nairobi. So we have designed an experience to really immerse. And for those of us who can, to see and engage with the actual community. So next October, we will be going to Kenya. We'll be going to Nairobi just for a few days to organize ourselves, to prep, to particularly for those who haven't been with us to East Africa, to kind of share with them what they're going to experience. And then we'll be going to the Olmoti community, which is really near the area for those who have not been on a safari, that's closest to where you can see the most elephants. And I think that's really important for many people because the elephants have a strong relationship, as we've been told, with the Olmoti community. So that experience will allow people who have not been on a safari and those who have been with us, as well as for at least 2.5 days, we will be in the Olmoti community. The area that we'll be staying, from what Sandy has told me, is about 2 kilometers from. So this is a wonderful opportunity. I mean, we have really expanded what we call our community partnership for working with this. So we hope as many of you and others who can come. Let me just say, because I have a lot of folks who have traveled with us, this is a little bit more moderate. Many people have expressed already tonight, and particularly Vita and Judith, about the East Africa experience, which we spend a lot of energy in making it. But this is kind of putting our hands inside the ground. It's still going to have a GL imprint on it, but we're spending most of our time and energy in developing and strengthening our partnership. So on December 18th, we will have our first Zoom meeting. We're going to get people a week before Christmas Day. So we've had with other people, if you need to have people to either for you to give a Christmas gift to go to Kenya, or for some people to contribute to you going to Kenya. So on December 18th at 7 p.m., we're going to do our Zoom meeting on Kenya. We'll also talk about the borehole project. So we're looking to formally inaugurate the borehole for those of us from the U.S. And as well as Becky has indicated, we will be actually planting trees during that time, as well as visiting some of our other partners that we have. So this is really a wonderful opportunity. It's not a dress up opportunity. We're going to be, we're not going on a yacht like we do with East Africa, but we're here to continue the partnership. And for those who would like to, as a gift to yourself for all that you're going to be doing, we will be offering an optional activity for Mombasa. If you don't know about Mombasa, Mombasa is part of an island but connected to Kenya. That's really has some of the ambiance of Zanzibar, for those of you who have been with us there. So if you need a beach vacation for several days, every place is still in Kenya. So we're looking for a minimum of 25 folks. In the beginning of the year, we'll be talking more about it. I think we have about 10 people already signed up or committed. So we're not that far from it. But if you would like to do this, or you know others, I know we're going to be partnering with hopefully a couple people from some churches from around the country. We invite you. You'll get to meet Sammy and the other day that we have in Kenya, and we'll meet many of the women, the beads, and all that will really come to life. So hopefully you'll sign up. You can sign up now. And we look forward to having this much deeper and richer relationship as we work with the Olmoti community. So hopefully many of you will join us, and you'll be getting a Zoom request on our mailing later in the week about the journey to Kenya.
Thanks, Lorna. From time to time this evening, you've heard us refer to ambassadors, and the global linkage ambassadors are the main folk who have each committed to raise $5,000 to get to our $100,000 goal. So this is work that's been done by a number of people, and we wanted to hear from some of those ambassadors tonight. So we're going to start off with David Allain. David, are you there? I'm sorry, I can't see everyone who's on the call, but here's David.
Yes, I'm here, Becky. Thank you very much. How are you?
Great.
I want to say hello to everyone. My name is David Allain, and I'm one of the ambassadors, as Becky rightly said. Tonight is a very important night. It's called the final push. Now, it reminds me of when I did the challenge, and my final push in my 101 laps came when I did 80 laps, because I was at the stage where I wanted to give up. See, we're close to the target of 100,000, and we're not going to give up, are we? We're not. No. Because we're going to push, and we're going to push, and we're going to push until we reach that 100,000, and it's in our grasp. So I want us all to think of the word final push individually, because that's what we need to do to spread the word to your family, friends, and everyone that you know that would donate to this worthy cause of getting us over the finish line and beyond. So I mentioned about the challenge that I did, and I did it because I know people are kind in terms of giving money to a worthy cause. But when you do something like I did, I think it pushed them even further to donate because to see that you're serious about raising money and it's not just like a, I just want your money, so let me just give it to that. They know the seriousness of it because I'm actually putting in the hard work in my fundraising to get these monies to help the people in Olmoti in terms of the water borehole and the water borehole, because they need it. This is a great need for them, the community of Olmoti, for them to get a borehole where the children do not have to, and the women do not have to go 12 miles out to fetch water and then come back. Now the community as a whole can access water, clean drinking water. The animals can also drink water as well. So it's a all-round worthy cause for humans and animals and the environment. I want to say that through Sammy, I was able to see the need and how much he represents his people or his community a lot. And he's very relentless, yeah, and getting this water borehole, and he also was always telling us what's going on in the community. So I want to say thank you, Sammy, my brother, my African brother. I want to say thank you because you were the one and your community that really made me challenge myself in terms of the fundraising. And I think I didn't do too badly, right? Aaron, I don't think I did too badly.
You're the man,
By the
David.
way,
Okay.
how
So
much have you raised so far, David?
I don't even look at that. Remember when I first came as an ambassador, I said, I'm not looking at how much I raised. I'm going to raise as much as I want to. Not as much as I want to, but I'm going to raise whatever the target was at the time, but beyond that. Because I don't look at, and beyond that. So, okay, a target is good because you have a goal, but also you want to go beyond that goal. So I don't like say 5,000 then, right? Okay, that's the cutoff for me. No, you got to go beyond that. So, that's what we all should do. Try and raise as much as you can. And when you get to wherever your goal is, say, no, I want to raise some more. So in other words, in this case, just be greedy in fundraising. It's okay to be greedy. So I just want to say that. Thank you very much, Becky.
Thank you, David.
Greedy
Thank you
for
so
good.
much.
Yeah, greedy for good. There's the word.
Greedy for good, right. Now, Aaron, has Sammy joined us in
Yes,
person?
Sammy's here. I think, Sammy, it would be great to hear from you, my friend. All right, you just got to come off mute here.
You're on mute, Sammy. Mm-hmm. Now you
Am
are.
I there?
Yeah.
There you go.
Yes.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Aaron, and thank you so much, our ambassadors. And let me say thank you so much, Lorna K. Jensen, because that is the first person I met, and um, I didn't know what to tell, but I was only sharing the experience and the life that we live in Amboseli, and I'm happy that it has transformed from one point to a very big mile that has brought a lot of people together. So I'm really happy. Thank you so much, Lorna. Let me say it. Thank you so much again before I forget. But also thank you so much to our donors, and thank you so much to our ambassadors. Thank you for putting time together and raise funds to help our people. I feel so much grateful, and may God bless you. I'll not forget. A lot have been done by global linkages. They're not only raising funds to fund a water project, but they're also sharing what they have to our people. Remember, we had sneakers that have been donated to our community every time we have a group of travelers. And I think you have seen how impactful it is to have those sneakers to a young kids in schools. Some parents could not afford to buy shoes, and through your generosity, we are able to give them the shoes, and they feel good. Actual kids feel when they're given shoes, they every time in the morning they come very early in the morning to school because they feel like maybe I'm going to be given more shoes. So the teachers were telling me that once we have the shoes, kids, it's about 2 weeks, they are very active coming to school. It's like they come to school punctually, they are in class at the right time, and they actually cooperate. So I'm really, really happy that every little that our travelers are doing, they are also helping our family. So we are really very happy. Global Linkages have been also sharing school supplies to our schools. We targeted this year 2 schools, and we are really happy that we managed to take the items to the right school that we were targeting. We had Olmoti Primary School, which is just about 3 kilometers away from Amboseli, and where we are drilling water. And also we are having Amboseli Primary, which is actually very close to the water point where the borehole is being drilled. And we are really happy that those 2 schools that we targeted this year that have been the items have been dropped, and the kids are very, very happy. Thank you also to Water is Life. When at first I thought who really have an experience to transform what we are looking into, and someone that will not let our donors down. When Water is Life came to my mind, I've never met any one of them, but I've been following on because there is also power on social media. So as a young person who go to social media and see what other people doing, uh, I saw a lot of posts, and different here. I see how Water is Life are doing. And the good thing is, I was also able to visit some of those areas because Maraba, where Joseph Larasha lives, is just 4 kilometers away from where I live. And I was able to see how really Water is Life is doing. So let me say thank you so much, our Water is Life team led by Joyce and Larasha. And let me also say thank you so much, Aaron, for being there and putting us together. I value your time. I value you are performing here, and I give respect to and even thankful to everyone that have been supporting our people. I don't have much to say, but I'm really happy that those who travel to Kenya are able to see the challenge that we are talking about here. Some of you have interacted with our people on your way on Namanga border, because I know some of them are there. And I think you have seen this year was different, but last year was total true picture of the drought and famine that we are talking about. A lot of people are carrying hay grasses on in their lorries, the big truck, so that they can transport it to the Maasai people, so that they can sell it to them. And some of them are also donating the hay grasses so that wildlife stocks can survive. So I'm really grateful for everyone who have shown up for today's meeting. Let me say thank you so much. May God bless you all. Thank you for making it happen. And we are really happy that we have started, and I know we are heading somewhere. So thank you, Lorna. I'm always happy to see you here. And I know how much you have been a blessing to our people. So thank you, everyone. Those who are coming next year, we will be waiting for you. There will be a lot of activities to be done. You're going to plant trees. You're going to interact with elephants. You will have an opportunity to see who Amboseli is. You'll see every kinds of animal that you would love to see. So may God bless you. Thank you.
Thank you,
Aaron.
Sammy. Thank you so
Thank-
much. Thank you.
Yes. And friends, you've been taking in a lot this evening, so we wanted to take a few minutes to see if any of you have questions. Or are there any questions on the chat that we still need to get to?
So there was a quick question from Delphine about if members of the community are involved during construction. And we can say that we definitely hire local contractors who hire local workers. So they are Kenyans. They are working. They're from nearby areas. So yes. And then there was also a question about Faith, about a specific question that she had about a donation. So if you have a question, you can send us an email at info@waterislifekenya.org. We also, in the chat, I put the donation page, and all of the information that we talked about tonight is on that page. I'll get there in just a minute. But yes, are there any other questions?
Good presentation.
I have a question, Aaron.
Sure.
This is Bernie Turner from Chicago area. For the tree dedication, I wrote down the where to go to see the video. So that's something I can send out to a few people I know might be interested in having a tree for a loved one to contribute. So I can just send that, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
So I'm gonna take you. Can you see the donation page here? Everybody, can you see this?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this is our donation page. This is what happens when you go to waterislifekenya.org/global. This is our progress bar. Now, if you want to donate a tree, scroll down here and see where it says click here to donate a tree.
Yeah.
So this has the specific information about the tree donations. So this is all part of the same fundraiser. If you donate here, we will represent it in the progress bar on the other page. But this is all the information you need. There's more information about trees down here. And now on both of these pages, if you scroll all the way to the bottom,
that's where the video is.
We have that video. That's right.
Okay, great. That's perfect.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. But this is our donation page. There's information about how to donate. There's information about donating via PayPal if that's interesting to you. But the best place to do it is right here. Make your donation and then go ahead. You can also send in a check, and I'll pull that up right here. So this is our address on the left-hand side if you would like to send us a check.
Oh, donate online. Okay. Yeah.
Yes, and there you go. There's our information here.
Okay.
Great.
I had this is Pat Hilliard.
Hey, Pat.
Hi. Hi. I was trying to get a question in when Joyce was when the slide was up. So I'm just going to say what it is, but I don't need it to be answered now because we can probably do that at a later time. But I noticed on the slide it was mentioning solar panels, and it also listed electric fencing for the area. And so I don't know. I don't think I've heard anything about how that works. But like I said, it doesn't have to be covered now. It's just that I had a question when I saw it. And the other thing I just want to say, it's not a question, but it's to say that once I saw that we are $12,000 away from our goal, and tomorrow being Giving Tuesday, I automatically start doing the math, and I said, there's only 12 people committing to do $1,000 between now and tomorrow midnight or whatever. And that sounds very, it's not an easy task, but it's not a difficult task either, based on the numbers of people that we've been dealing with. So, or we can say 24 people do 500 between now and the 24 hours. So to me, it seems very doable. If each of us just say within ourselves right now, what can I do? Can I do 500? Can I do 1,000? And if it's not just you individually, just your group, your family, or whatever. But I really think it's not anything that we cannot do within the next 24 hours. That's just my little, plug.
Thank you, Pat.
Really important point.
Okay.
Excellent.
Yeah. The electric fence question is a really good question. That's to protect the solar panels from elephants. So the elephants, they will knock the solar panels over because they're very curious. And so the electric fence is just to make sure that, we protect that infrastructure. Yeah.
Okay.
Without building a large concrete fence, which would be even more expensive.
Okay.
Aaron, this is
Yeah.
Delphine. I have a question about the legacy trees. So on the page that you just showed, it said 2 days left to donate. And but I thought that that you could donate them later than the 3rd.
That's true. Yeah, so we just have 2 days left to donate because tomorrow is Giving Tuesday. But the reality is this will be open until the end of the year. Our internal goal was Giving Tuesday, but it's true. The trees, I think the trees might not say, but yeah, the donations the donations are open until the end of the year. Absolutely, this can be a part of end of year giving, and end of year giving. Yeah. Like David swam 101 laps. If we get to 100, we can keep going past it. We will find a way to put that money to use in Olmoti.
Okay. Well, we need to change that though, in case someone comes to the site.
Oh yeah. After tomorrow, I'll change it. I want people
Okay.
I want to build
Right.
that one day. I want to see one day here and let people feel like we can do it. Like Pat said, I think we can do it. I think we can do it, everybody.
But it's a good point, Delphine. We don't want people to think they can't give after tomorrow.
Yeah.
That's
Absolutely.
true. You're right. We'll make sure to note it.
Yep.
Okay.
Any other question? One more question before we ask Lorna to give a final word.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm looking at the donation thing, and like I said, it could be me, but I'm just trying to understand, like, if I'm getting a grove of trees and I have a list of names of people, where would I put that list? That's what my main question was. Because it says your note for the donor scroll, but I thought that was just to make a note of, hi, I'm donating because. I don't know if that's
so Faith, just to quickly go over it here. You can put it right in here, but you only
That's
have
what I was asking. Okay.
you only have 150 characters. So if you click this, then it'll actually bring you to this page where it says additional honoree information.
Got it.
You can just put the list of names right in there too.
Okay. All right. That's what I wanted to know. Thank you.
Yep. So just keep clicking
Great.
through.
Good questions that'll help everybody go through the process. Thank you all.
Yep. But when you want to share this, if you want to share this with people, you want people to get inspired, you want to highlight this Giving Tuesday push, you can just share that link that I put in the chat. It's waterislifekenya.org/global.
And this is Carol Best. If you have any questions, feel free to call any of us, and we will walk you through it, answer your questions, or if we don't know, we'll get an answer for you.
Call or email.
Call or email.
Mm-hmm.
Or text, because I'm tracking them all right now.
So, Lorna, any closing words you'd like to share with us?
No, I just think some of us, and this is very culturally specific to those of us in the Newark area, we just lost an icon yesterday who fell in love with the Africa continent. And her name is Honorable Mildred Crump. Everyone who's from northern New Jersey knew Mildred. Mildred only went to Africa with me. And as her physical transition has gone on, I was just thinking how happy if she were able to be alive, to think that so many people from across the country have continued and to give beyond what she and I started in our cultural journeys to Africa. So, as we get to the season of giving, and I hope some of you read our Thanksgiving notice. I mean, I'm just so touched with all that has been done and that we'll continue to do. And as we go into next year's preparation for the journey, we'll be open. We'll see some of the young women who hopefully now can continue their schooling because they have water available to them. We'll see some of the men, and Water of Life Kenya has small cattle projects. We'll see some of the widows who have projects and support to do that. And even though we go to have our own experience when we travel, I think all of us who have been to Africa, whether it's Kenya or other places, know that we get so much more out of the experience that really does transform our lives. So we've said it, and we'll be having activities to thank people. But, as we go to this last $12,000, like Pat said, we're going to try to hit it tomorrow. Just think, even if that isn't met, that we have already done so much. And that, as Sammy said, this is a partnership that will also go on for a long time in a different way, but it will go on. So, again, thank all of you, for the summer push, for Becky. I've been knowing Becky many, many years. And she's making some physical changes. So, thank you for your leadership. Carol, for your technical advice, and people like Pat and David who did different types of fundraising. Even with all the craziness and sadness in the world, I hope all of us can lean on what we're doing and to give us hope that there is a great new world. So hopefully I will see some of you on the 18th. If not, I wish everyone a wonderful and happy holiday season. And in Mildred's spirit, thank you for all the people that we're not even going to see next year who have contributed to this. Sammy, I'll be talking to you shortly as well.
And thank you, Joyce, for joining us. It was wonderful to get the direct report from the field. Thank you so much. So with that, we'll say good night, and let's go over the top tomorrow.
Good night.
Good
Thank you
night.
so much, everybody. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Good
you,
night.
Carol.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Final push.
Good
Final
night.
push.
God bless you.
Good
Final
night.
push. Final push.
Final push.
Final push.
Thank you, everybody. Thank
Good
you so
night.
much. Great to see you, Delphine and Judith and Diana. Great to see you all. This has been such a fun
Great.
project. Let's get to the finish line. Thank you,
Yep.
everybody.
Let's do it. Let's do
Over
it.
the top. Over the top.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, everyone.
All
Good
right.
night.
Take
Bye-bye.
care.